Okay, it's Monday morning, and today we are going to talk about prospecting and why it's important, what to do, pretty much a strategy for you. Okay, but right off the bat, let's not call it prospecting. Okay, and if you catch me, just say don't call it prospecting. Let's call this lead generation. Let's learn about lead generation. Okay, because every time we say prospecting, it seems like we think of cold call, and then we get nervous, and then we don't do it, right? So let's think of this as finding ways to lead generate to get more business. Okay, it's not just about cold call. Okay, so my question to you before we start is, will you commit to lead generation? Okay, or are you going to commit to it and do it? So one of the things we have, um, one of our first points that we're going to make here is, as you start your prospecting journey, keep this affirmation in mind. I am efficient, effective, productive, and profitable. Sorry, my slideshow moved on me there. To optimize your prospecting time, make mornings media free. Avoid TV, radio, newspapers, emails, and voicemails. So how do you become efficient in lead generation? You have to track your source. Okay. If I say to you, Dalton, you get 0 clients the past year from doing 20 open houses, but every time you spend 2 hours, you get 1 appointment on calling for sale by owners. Which is more effective or efficient?
Obviously, you would want to be calling the for sale by owners.
Right. So you don't know that unless you track your number or track your source from your previous year, correct?
Correct.
So you have to start tracking where your sources come from. Okay, and it doesn't have to be that hard. If you're doing 30 deals, just look at the past year and figure out, where did these clients come from? Are they from my past clients' sphere of influence? Are they expireds? Are they FSBOs? Are they internet leads? You have to figure out what's your best source so that you can focus in on that to become more efficient. Okay. To be effective in lead generation, you have to know what to say. Okay. What do you have to say? So one of the things we provide to you are scripts. And if you haven't gotten a script book yet, please feel free to reach out and we'll certainly give you one. But the more you internalize those scripts, okay, and know what to ask, then you'll become more effective in your lead generation. Okay. Being productive with lead generation. So when you start to make your calls or do whatever it is that you do to lead generate, writing letters, etc., are you in a clutter-free environment? Meaning there's nothing in front of you, no interruptions other than you, the client you're going to call, and you're focused in on what you're going to say. Okay. And making it profitable. So lead generation is an income producing thing that you do in real estate. Okay, we often talk about income producing. So what are income producing tasks that you do that's generating new business and making you more income. So lead generation is definitely profitable if you do it right. Okay. Establish an efficient pre-prospecting routine, including a set wake-up time, exercise and stretching, a nutritious breakfast, affirmations, and arriving at the office at a specific time with a clear desk and prepared, and a clear desk and prepared prospect numbers. Remember, we give out those expireds and for sale by owner numbers every day. So by the time you reach the office, they should be in your inbox. Don't forget to role play with enthusiasm and have fun while prospecting. Again, we give out those numbers, and we also have different methods for you to find other clients to call as well. Okay. For example, we'll go over a list here of examples of potential clients that you can call prospects. And one of them includes tenant occupied properties. Okay. You may not have their phone numbers or be able to reach out to them, but you can certainly find out where they live. Okay. The other thing too is it talks about role play. We have role playing here, I believe. What days are those, Jim? Days and times?
We've been doing it Tuesday and Thursday at 8:15.
Yep, at 8:15. So if you're able to make it, or if you're not able to make it, get with me and maybe we can set something up via Zoom to do role play. Okay. But definitely you want to have some kind of role playing. And when you start off with your lead generation, you always want to start off with a friendly call as well. So call a past client. Okay. Call somebody that you know will give you an easy time, because then that'll set the tone for the rest of the day. Okay. And they always say prospect in the mornings because that's when you're at your best. You're fresh. Okay. By the afternoon, you're kind of slagging a little bit, right? You want the day to end. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't lead generate later in the day, because not everybody you can reach in the morning, but sometimes you can reach them later in the day or in the evening. Okay. It is important to reinforce the connection between prospecting and achieving our goals. Committing to building our business through daily efficient prospecting, lead generation, is essential. Determine the source of your business before deciding where to get it from, and create a system for tracking all your closings. Most business comes from finding it, not waiting or buying it. So 80% of our efforts should be focused on finding it. Okay. So there's 3 ways to get business in real estate. You can wait for it. Okay. And I think last year, if and prior years, since I source where I get my sales from, if I waited around for business, I probably could do 3 to 4, maybe 5 deals a year. Okay, just waiting around. Okay, somebody will eventually call me because of a sign or whatever, and I don't have to lift a finger to do anything. But that's not being very profitable. Okay. So when you source your numbers, it will tell you where to go, where to lead generate. And I guarantee you, if you've been in this business for a while, it's probably your past clients and COIs and referrals. Am I correct in that, Ray? Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to hit unmute. Yes.
But if you're a brand new agent, unless you're a major social media influencer with thousands, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of followers, you're going to have to find a way to lead generate with people you don't know. Okay, and that's mainly through your expireds, for sale by owners, and potentially just calling around a neighborhood that you want to focus in on. So waiting for business, you can buy the business, right? Zillow's more than willing to take 300, maybe even 550, thousands of dollars a month from you to send you a few leads that you still have to call the people, right? So you can buy the leads, but remember, you still have to talk to people, okay? Or you can be a salesperson and go find it and operate it like your own business, finding the business. So one of the things that the audio, I'm not sure if everybody listened to the audio before you joined here, but the audio talks about being predictable and duplicatable. Okay, those two words are going to help you be very profitable. Okay, is it predictable and is it duplicatable? So take, for example, you hold an open house. Okay, and your entire hope is somebody comes in and buys that house. Okay, now in 17 years in this business, I don't think I've sold a single house, a resale house, at an open house that day. Okay, it doesn't happen. Now, what does happen is I get the client's name and number, and as long as they're not working with another agent, I put them in my database and I follow up with them. Okay, I follow up with them, I show them houses, and then they end up buying a house through me. Not the one I showed them or the one I met them at, the open house, but probably showed them what, 6, 7 houses, and then they buy something later on from me. Okay, so the fact that the client came and me hoping them buying that house is not predictable. Okay, and even if they did, that's not duplicatable. Okay, that's a far cry, especially now 17 years in the business. If I get one person next week to buy it, it's not a very duplicatable business practice. Okay, but what is duplicatable and predictable is I hold an open house, I get clients through, potential clients through there, I get their name and number, add them to my database and work them and follow up. Okay, that's duplicatable and predictable. Okay, does everybody understand that? Okay. And one of the things too, being predictable and duplicatable, if you know it takes 25 calls, as long as you're tracking your numbers to get one client, then obviously you're going to want to get those calls in, because every 25 calls, you're going to make a sale. Okay. The other thing the audio talks about is repetitious boredom. Lead generation is not fun. Okay, it can get boring. But you have to remember, when you're talking to another client on the other side, it may be the first time they're hearing this conversation. Okay, even expireds, you may be the 15th call that day, right? But if your call is more efficient and effective, they'll remember you over the other 14 people. Okay. So one thing I noted too on my notes here is repetitious boredom. Your goal has to be stronger than the boredom. Okay. If my goal is to make enough money this year so that I can start my 529 fund for my kids to go to college, them going to college, my goal for them to go to college is stronger than the boredom of calling expireds and FSBOs every day. Okay, so make sure your goal and you know what it is and you're focused in on it and it's in front of you when you're making these calls. Okay. Daily prospecting efforts should be made through the following lead sources: past clients, centers of influence, expired listings, for sale by owners, calling around existing listings and sales, working old company files, knocking on doors, and any other sources. Okay. So when you listen to the audio, the speaker makes it known that these listed are the biggest and most productive and efficient sources. Okay. He does give out other ideas such as open houses. Okay. Now, there are agents in our office that thrive on doing open houses, and they're very successful at it because of their follow-up skills. Okay. If you're going to do open houses, you have to have good follow-up skills because, again, you're not going to sell those people that house that day. But if you can ask the right questions while they're there and you're face-to-face and you build rapport, they will want to work with you. Okay. Geofarming. Does anybody know what geofarming is? I know Ray does. Jim, do you know what geofarming is?
It's
Okay.
just looking for a particular zip code and sending out a mailer, maybe making follow-up calls in that particular area.
Exactly. Let's say, for example, right across the street is Silver Creek. Okay. I want to do a mailing entirely to them. I want to make calls entirely to that neighborhood. I'm focused in on just selling in that 360 home neighborhood. Okay. Which is great. You can become the neighborhood expert in there. The problem is, especially the past years, how many sales have there been in there? You know, maybe 10 at the most, right? 10 a year. There hasn't been too many for sale in many neighborhoods. So geofarming kind of limits you to just there. But again, it's an effective way to prospect if you do it right and follow up. Okay. The internet, mentioned that. Problem with the internet, costs money. Relocation. Years ago, I remember a couple agents that were just known for relocation. Okay. That's their number one lead source. You know, they get their leads through this relocation company. The problem is back then, the relocation companies used to ask for a 25 to 30% referral fee. How about it, Ray? Now, the last one I saw that I did, they asked for 42%, 42. It's a very specific high number, right? That's more than almost half. 58 to me, 42 to them. Okay. So yes, it's a good way to get clients. But it's also a very expensive way because you give up a lot of your commission. Okay. Tenant occupied properties. Through Bright, we can find out if the owner of a property is living in that property or not, right? Because their taxes get mailed to a different address, so they're not occupying that property. You could send a letter to those tenants and ask them what their plans are. Are they looking to buy a house anytime soon? Okay. The other thing that talks about is small builders. You can contact local builders and see what their needs are. Maybe you can find some land for them or find a deal, right? They're always looking for scattered lots. So you might want to get to know some of your local builders. Next point, prospecting can be difficult for reasons such as lack of knowledge or skills, okay, not knowing the scripts, not knowing what to say, non-productive habits, fear of rejection, embarrassment, or tracking numbers. To overcome these challenges, memorize and internalize prospecting scripts, lead generation scripts, through practice and role play. Focus on the most common objections received during prospecting, lead generation, and ask role play partners to be tough, but end on a positive note. Don't hesitate to practice on real people who don't know you're doing so. Okay. So on the audio, it talks about rejection. And we get rejection every day, right? I got rejected by my wife over the weekend. I said, I want to get a new car. She goes, no. I got rejected, right? But that rejection, I just took it and then just went about my day, didn't even think about it until just now, okay? But why do we take rejection so badly from somebody we don't know, a complete stranger? So when you're making these calls and somebody says, no, I don't, you're the fifth agent to call me, I don't want to need an agent, and he hangs up on you, and then that's it. You end your lead generation period, and then you go do something else that's not income producing. Okay, why do we let a complete stranger do that to us? Something I never could understand, but it does happen, right? Just don't let it happen to you. If you're going to take rejection personally, take it from somebody you know, but not from a complete stranger. You'll never talk to them again. So don't let it bother you. Okay. Also, one thing to note in the audio that the speaker mentioned is ask questions. Okay, especially open-ended ones that start with who, what, where, when, why, how. Okay, avoid those questions that start, do you need to sell your house? Yes. See, that's not a conversation. Okay, are you interviewing agents? No. When do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home? Well, I don't know. See, now that opens up to a conversation. Okay. Follow the 3-3-3 rule. After the phone rings 3 times, so the phone rings 3 times, hang up. After 3 calls with no response, throw them away. After 3 conversations with no appointment, throw them away. The first call of the day can be the hardest, so consider calling a past client or center of influence to boost confidence. Always have your list of past clients, center of influence, and people you like to talk to readily available. So this talks about a 3-3-3 rule of letting the phone ring 3 times, hang up, 3 calls and no appointments or no response, you can throw away the lead. Or after 3 conversations and you're not getting anywhere with these folks, then throw them away. Now, you may not want to throw them away. You may want to journal them and follow up with them maybe every 6 months or a year, but it doesn't seem like it's a very effective lead generation process to keep calling them when they keep saying they're not ready to sell. Okay. Any questions so far, by the way? Okay. Since prospecting is a major part of your job, work on your mindset daily. Start and end prospecting at the same time every day and have conversations with your accountability partner before and after. Okay. Most distractions during prospecting are self-imposed. So keep your area clean and distractions to a minimum. Turn off your phone, beeper, computer and avoid checking voicemail or email until after prospecting. Stay focused on the long-term payoff and have your goals posted in front of you to overcome boredom. So everything I said earlier, jumped ahead a little bit. Most distractions during prospecting are self-imposed. So when I was listening to the audio that I sent, the speaker was talking about how he had a client, coaching client, and this coaching client could never find the time to prospect or have efficient prospecting lead generation time. And it was because he had two computers in front of him, two screens. He was checking the weather report on one, he was checking the stock market on the other. Then he was working from home and he had two kids, right? Luis, you're laughing. Did you listen to the audio? You did? Yeah. So all those distractions, no wonder he couldn't prospect or lead generate. He had so much distractions for all 9 of us on this call right now, right? So as soon as that coaching client got rid of all the distractions and just concentrated on generating leads and build his business, his profitability went skyrocket. Okay. So what are you doing right now when you lead generate? Are you getting distractions and are they self-imposed?
I'm laughing, Kong, because I have 4 kids, I have a dog, and it is almost impossible when I am like where I am and I have the TV going with the 2 kids watching it and the other 2 kids downstairs. It's just impossible. You just so many distractions going on. And yeah, absolutely right. You got to get rid of all of that if you want to, be efficient at it.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, that call, that little audio, when I was listening to that, I had to laugh because I'm thinking to myself, that's a lot of people these days because of working from home and having kids and such. It happens, especially if your spouse is working from home too. So. Before we go on to this next point, one thing too about accountability, okay? Being part of this office, you have a lot of people that will hold you accountable if you want it, right? You have Gene, you have Tim, you have Brooks, you have myself, Kathy will even help in. If you want an accountability partner, okay, and you don't want to pay for coaching, come to us. And we'll certainly be happy to program in our calendar every day to give you a call and just say, what are you doing? Are you going to start your lead generation? Great. I'll give you a call in 2 hours when you're done and see how you made out. Okay. We also do a lot of these lead generation nights, where we call dialing for dollars. Okay. I was just in a meeting and they were talking about maybe instead of just dialing for dollars, maybe we'll have nights where we write letters for dollars or whatnot, do different things other than just making calls, right? I think that could be fun. So again, if you want an accountability partner, feel free to give me a call and just say, Kong, help me be my accountability partner. Give me a call at this time of day and find out what I'm doing. Okay? Because again, the problem with our business, and it's not really a problem, but it's just the freedom of being an independent contractor, you don't have a lot of accountability. Okay. Our last point here, your physical and mental environment while prospecting are crucial to the results you get. Remember, I can't let someone else's response to my prospecting determine my future. I can't let someone else's response to my prospecting determine my future. Keep your ego in check and focus on helping the person you're talking to. Helping the person you're talking to. Not impressing them with your greatness. Keep this question in mind while prospecting. How can I help the person I'm speaking with? How can I help the person I'm speaking with? And maybe you just start that off. Just say, look, I know you've gotten a ton of calls today. Okay. Your listing came up that has expired. You're getting inundated with calls. But I just wanted to give you a call and find out how I can help you. Because if you still need to move, I can certainly help you. But let me ask you these questions first. And then you go into your script. Okay. So again, I can't let someone else's response to my prospecting determine my future. So if somebody, and Jim, you've had these clients just swear at you and then hang up the phone. And what do you do next? You make the next call, right? Can't let that bother you.
Right, you
You
can't,
can't let that response determine your future especially for that day.
yeah. I had one call me back, left me a message last week, use the F word, So
Yeah,
I just deleted it, so
and move on, right?
that's all you can do, yeah.
That's all you can do. So, any questions about today? Okay. Now, Wednesday, remember, it's 2:30. The Wednesday class is at 2:30. And we will go over past clients and centers of.
Paul,
Yes,
could I just share a prospecting story real quick?
yeah, absolutely. Please.
So many of you know that Shelley Ott's little mini dachshund is missing. So we've been out searching for 5 days now. And she put together a flyer and we stapled her business card to the flyer. So I'm driving her door to door and we're knocking on doors. And don't you know, she's getting a listing.
Oh.
So this week I'm going to have a missing cat and I'm going door to door.
That is awesome.
Because everyone was more than willing to listen and
Yeah.
more than willing to take the flyer and had no qualms and were very helpful. And this one lady said, "Are you a realtor?" And she said, "Yes." And she said, "I need to move in a nursing home and I don't know who to get to help me." So she got a listing.
That's amazing.
So when she got back in the car, I said, "That's it. I'm going to have a missing cat next week." Just thought it was funny.
Oh, my goodness. Well, good for her. I'll have to give her a call.
Give her a call. They're
Good
getting
will.
closer. They actually caught her on camera last night.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, as part of, I mentioned that I have these binders made up. And if you want one, I'll certainly get you one. Ray, you and Shelley probably want one, so maybe I'll drop some off with Emily. She's coming up here to pick some up.
Okay.
and I'll
Yeah,
give
I
you
think we
guys-
both want one.
Yeah, I'll get you one so that, the attachments that I send out with my email, you won't have to print them out anymore. Okay,
Oh, okay.
they'll all be attached. But one thing I did attach this week is some prospecting ideas, especially letter writing, handwriting letters, or you can type this. This is a lot of handwriting. So I would type it and then maybe just sign your name and write the client's name on it. But I sent out, and hopefully you can still see my screen here, just listed. Okay, here's an example of a just listed letter that I sent describing my process to a client. Hi, I'm Kong Dang, local realtor affiliated with Remax First Advantage. Recently, I had the pleasure of listing and putting 719 Fishing Creek Road under contract. We initially listed the property as a coming soon listing on December 22, with showing scheduled to commence on January 5th. In just 2 days, we received 2 sight unseen offers, one of which the seller accepted. Before listing the property, I had a conversation with the seller about the current market conditions. During the fall, interest rates doubled compared to the previous year, and I was confident that with the right marketing strategy and pricing, we would achieve our desired outcome. One aspect of my marketing strategy was to have a pre-listing home inspection, septic inspection, and water test conducted, which I covered as part of my services to the seller. you can rewrite this, obviously. The reason for this was that many buyers waived inspections contingencies while others do not. By providing a pre-listing inspection, all buyers were on the same level, making it possible to accept offers with fewer contingencies. These inspections also allowed the seller to make some necessary repairs, improvements, improving the home's overall presentation. We didn't anticipate sight unseen offers, but the inspections provided buyers with the confidence to purchase a property without seeing it. If you're planning on making a move in 2023, I'm here to help. Let's discuss the current housing market and create a strategy to maximize your real estate investments profitability. Thank you for your time. Okay. Next letter, an expired letter. Okay, so I have one written out here, and you can just copy the verbiage and change it and make it your own. Another expired example. Okay. Another expired example. FSBO, where you're given free advice. Okay. Another FSBO letter. And then buyer prospect from open house. So you hold an open house and you get their email address. Here's something you can write to them. Remember, our open house registration form has the name, if they're working with an agent or not, and who that agent is, phone number or email, and then how did they hear about the open house so that we can maximize marketing. So there's a few ideas, and the whole point of having this binder is as we accumulate more information and handouts and such, you can print it out and stick it in this binder, new stuff that come up, because you know how our business is always changing with ideas and such. So, but if there are no other questions, I'm going to end the call, and I will see everybody again on Wednesday, if not tomorrow morning.